You come home after a long day. You were tired, hungry, and the quickest option is yesterday's leftovers sitting in your refrigerator. You take out a bowl of rice, microwave it for 2 minutes, and enjoy your dinner without giving it a second thought. But what if that simple habit could sometimes increase your risk of food poisoning? Recently, millions of people watched a video claiming that reheating 4 everyday foods, including rice, chicken, spinach, and eggs, could increase your risk of cancer and other serious health problems. The video quickly spread across social media, leaving many people wondering whether they should stop reheating leftovers altogether. Is reheated rice really dangerous? Can reheating chicken change its proteins into something harmful? Do leafy greens actually become carcinogenic after being microwaved? And are reheated eggs secretly damaging your DNA? These are serious claims, and whenever health advice goes viral, it's important to separate facts from fear. In today's video, we're going to examine each claim one by one. We'll explain what actually happens inside these foods when they are cooked, cooled, stored, and reheated. More importantly, we'll look at what current food safety experts and scientific research tell us about the safest way to enjoy leftovers without putting your health at risk. By the end of this video, you'll know which warnings deserve your attention, which myths have been exaggerated, and the simple habits that can protect you and your family every single day. So let's begin with one of the world's most commonly eaten foods, and surprisingly, the one that causes more food poisoning than many people realize. Food number 1, cooked rice. At first glance, rice seems harmless. It's eaten by billions of people every day across Asia, Europe, Africa, and the Americas. Whether it's biryani, fried rice, sushi rice, pulao, or plain steamed rice, it's one of the safest and healthiest staple foods available. So why do experts keep warning people about leftover rice? The answer isn't the rice itself. It's something hiding inside it before it is even cooked. Raw rice naturally contains microscopic bacterial spores from a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. Now don't let the scientific name scare you. These spores are actually very common in nature. They are found in soil, dust, and agricultural environments, which means they can easily end up on grains of rice during harvesting. Here's where things get interesting. Unlike ordinary bacteria, bacterial spores are incredibly tough. Think of them as tiny survival capsules. They can survive boiling water. They can survive drying. And most importantly, they can survive the initial cooking process. That means even perfectly cooked rice may still contain these dormant spores. But at this stage, they are usually harmless. The real problem begins after the rice has finished cooking. Imagine you cook a large pot of rice for dinner. Everyone eats, but half the pot is left on the kitchen counter while the family watches television or chats after the meal. 1 hour passes, then another. Eventually the rice is placed in the refrigerator. This is where trouble can begin. As the rice slowly cools, those surviving spores wake up. They begin transforming into active bacteria. Once active, these bacteria multiply rapidly, especially when the rice stays between about 5 and 60 degrees Celsius, a temperature range often called the danger zone, because bacteria grow quickly there. As they multiply, some strains of Bacillus cereus produce toxins. These toxins, not the bacteria themselves, are responsible for making people sick. This is the most important point to understand. Many people believe that reheating food kills everything harmful. Unfortunately, that's not always true. While reheating can kill many bacteria, certain toxins produced by Bacillus cereus are heat stable. In other words, once the toxins have formed, microwaving the rice again won't necessarily destroy them. That's why someone can eat reheated rice that is steaming hot and still develop food poisoning a few hours later. Symptoms often include nausea, vomiting, stomach cramps, and diarrhea. In most healthy adults, the illness is unpleasant but short-lived. However, young children, older adults, pregnant women, and people with weakened immune systems may experience more serious complications. So does this mean you should never eat leftover rice? Absolutely not. The key is proper food handling. After cooking rice, avoid leaving it at room temperature for long periods. Instead, allow it to cool quickly. One helpful trick is to divide large amounts into several shallow containers instead of leaving the rice in one deep pot. Smaller portions lose heat much faster. Once the rice has cooled slightly, place it in the refrigerator within 1 to 2 hours of cooking. If the room is very hot, refrigerate it even sooner. When it's time to eat, reheat only the portion you need. Heat it thoroughly until it's steaming all the way through. Avoid reheating the same batch over and over because every cycle of cooling and warming creates another opportunity for bacteria to grow. Another common question people ask is whether microwaving rice creates cancer-causing chemicals. Some internet posts claim that repeated heating forms dangerous compounds called acrylamides. The truth is more complicated. Acrylamide is mainly formed when starchy foods are cooked at very high temperatures using dry heat, such as frying, roasting, or baking. Boiling rice or reheating it in the microwave generally produces very little acrylamide compared with foods like potato chips or French fries. So while acrylamide is an important topic in food science, it isn't the main concern with leftover rice. The real issue is bacterial toxins caused by improper storage. Let's imagine two different families. Family A cooks rice at Sham ke 7 baje. After dinner, the rice stays on the counter until midnight before anyone remembers to refrigerate it. The next afternoon they microwave the leftovers and eat them. Family B cooks rice at exactly the same time. After dinner, they divide the leftovers into shallow containers, refrigerate them within an hour, and reheat only one serving the next day until it's piping hot. Both families reheated rice. Only one followed safe storage practices. That's why experts emphasize that storage is more important than reheating itself. This example teaches an important lesson that applies to almost every leftover food we'll discuss today. Most foodborne illnesses aren't caused because food was reheated. They are caused because food was stored incorrectly before reheating. Understanding that simple principle can dramatically reduce your chances of getting sick while allowing you to safely enjoy leftovers and reduce food waste. Now that we've uncovered the truth about rice, let's move on to another food surrounded by myths and misunderstandings, cooked chicken. Does reheating chicken really destroy its proteins and make it harmful? Or is that another internet myth? Let's move on to another food that's almost always found in refrigerators around the world, chicken. Whether it's grilled chicken, roasted chicken, curry, fried chicken, or shredded chicken for sandwiches, leftovers are incredibly common. But you probably heard someone say, never reheat chicken, the proteins become toxic. Others claim reheated chicken can damage your digestive system or even increase your risk of cancer. These statements sound alarming, but how much of them is actually true? Let's separate fact from fiction. When chicken is cooked for the first time, heat changes the structure of its proteins. Scientists call this protein denaturation. It sounds complicated, but you've seen it happen many times. Raw chicken is soft and pink. Cooked chicken becomes firm, white, and opaque. That's simply because heat changes the shape of the protein molecules. The same thing happens when you boil an egg. Now here's where the myth begins. Some people believe that reheating chicken changes these proteins again, making them dangerous or impossible for the body to digest. Current scientific evidence does not support this claim. Yes, reheating can continue to change the texture of chicken. It may become drier, tougher, or chewier because moisture escapes during heating. But there is no convincing evidence that reheating chicken once creates poisonous proteins or cancer-causing substances under normal household cooking conditions. So if reheating isn't the real problem, what is? The answer, once again, is food safety. Chicken is naturally more likely than many other foods to carry bacteria such as Salmonella or Campylobacter before it's cooked. Cooking destroys these bacteria. However, once cooked, chicken can become contaminated again if it isn't stored properly. For example, imagine you finished dinner. Instead of putting the leftover chicken into the refrigerator, it sits on the dining table for 4 or 5 hours. During that time, bacteria from the air, kitchen utensils, or even your hands can begin multiplying. When you finally refrigerate it, you've already given those bacteria a head start. Reheating helps kill many bacteria, but some bacterial toxins may remain if they've already formed. That's why food safety experts recommend refrigerating cooked chicken within 2 hours of cooking, or within 1 hour if the weather is especially hot. When reheating, the chicken should reach an internal temperature of about 74 degrees Celsius, or 165 degrees Fahrenheit. This ensures any harmful bacteria that may have grown during storage are destroyed. Another question people often ask is whether microwaving chicken is safe. The answer is yes, but with one important condition. Microwaves don't always heat food evenly. One part of the chicken may be extremely hot while another section remains surprisingly cool. Those cooler spots may allow bacteria to survive. To solve this problem, stir the food if possible, rotate larger pieces halfway through heating, and allow it to rest for a minute after microwaving so the heat spreads evenly. What about eating leftover chicken cold? Many people prepare chicken salads, wraps, pasta salads, or sandwiches using refrigerated cooked chicken. This is generally considered perfectly safe as long as the chicken was refrigerated promptly after cooking and hasn't been sitting in the refrigerator for too many days. Most food safety authorities recommend eating refrigerated cooked chicken within 3 to 4 days. If you're not planning to eat it within that time, freezing it is usually the better option. Freezing doesn't kill all bacteria, but it dramatically slows their growth, helping preserve both quality and safety. So what's the takeaway? Contrary to popular internet claims, reheating chicken isn't inherently dangerous. The real danger comes from improper storage, cross-contamination, or leaving cooked chicken at room temperature for too long. Safe storage is what protects your health, not avoiding reheating altogether. Food number 3, spinach and other leafy greens. Now let's discuss one of the most controversial topics in the world of nutrition. Spinach. You probably heard warnings like these. Never microwave spinach. Reheated spinach causes cancer. Heating leafy greens turns healthy nitrates into deadly chemicals. These claims sound frightening because they involve words like nitrates, nitrites, and nitrosamines. But what do these words actually mean? Let's break them down in simple language. Spinach naturally contains compounds called nitrates. Many vegetables do. In fact, leafy greens are among the richest natural sources of dietary nitrates. For years, nitrates had a bad reputation because they were often associated with processed meats. But scientists now know the story is much more complicated. When you eat vegetables rich in nitrates, your body converts some of those nitrates into nitric oxide, a molecule that helps relax blood vessels, improve circulation, and support heart health. This is one reason why diets rich in vegetables are consistently linked with lower risks of heart disease and stroke. So why do people worry about reheating spinach? The concern comes from something called nitrosamines. Certain nitrosamines have been shown to increase cancer risk in laboratory studies. However, these compounds usually form under very specific conditions. For example, they can develop during the processing of cured meats that contain added nitrites or in certain industrial manufacturing environments. Some websites claim that simply refrigerating and reheating spinach automatically creates dangerous amounts of nitrosamines. Current scientific evidence does not support that conclusion for normal home cooking. Researchers have not shown that reheating spinach once in a household microwave suddenly transforms it into a carcinogenic food. However, there is another reason to avoid repeatedly reheating leafy greens. Heat destroys some vitamins. Vitamin C, folate, and several delicate antioxidants gradually decline with repeated cooking. Each additional heating cycle can reduce the nutritional value of the vegetables. That means the spinach may still be safe to eat, but it won't be as nutritious as when it was freshly prepared. Another factor is taste. Anyone who's reheated spinach knows it often becomes softer, darker, and more watery. The texture changes significantly. For many people, it's simply less enjoyable. If you cooked spinach and have leftovers, refrigerate them promptly in an airtight container. When you're ready to eat them, reheating them once is generally considered acceptable. Many people actually prefer eating leftover spinach cold in salads, grain bowls, or wraps because it preserves more of the texture and flavor. The same advice applies to other nitrate-rich vegetables like beet greens, Swiss chard, celery, and certain lettuces. The emphasis should always be on proper refrigeration rather than fear of reheating itself. Nutrition experts continue to encourage people to eat more vegetables, not fewer. The overwhelming scientific evidence shows that diets rich in leafy greens reduce the risk of many chronic diseases, including certain cancers. That's a much stronger body of evidence than the internet myth suggesting reheated spinach is automatically dangerous. So don't let viral social media posts scare you away from one of the healthiest food groups on the planet. Instead, focus on buying fresh produce, storing it properly, and avoiding unnecessary repeated reheating that mainly affects quality rather than safety. Now we've covered rice, chicken, and leafy greens. There's just one food left on our list: eggs. Many online videos claim reheating eggs produces harmful compounds that damage DNA and clog arteries. Is there any truth behind those alarming statements? We'll examine the science behind reheated eggs in the next and final part of this video, along with expert food safety tips that apply to almost every leftover in your refrigerator. Food number 4, eggs. Now we've reached the final food on our list, eggs. Whether you enjoy scrambled eggs for breakfast, hard-boiled eggs as a snack, or a fluffy omelette packed with vegetables, eggs are one of the most nutritious foods you can eat. They're rich in high-quality protein, vitamins, minerals, and healthy fats. Yet, they are also surrounded by myths. One of the most popular claims online is that reheating eggs creates harmful compounds called oxysterols, which are said to damage DNA, increase inflammation, and clog your arteries. That sounds alarming, but what does the science actually tell us? To answer that, let's first understand what oxysterols are. Oxysterols are oxidized forms of cholesterol. They can form when cholesterol-containing foods are exposed to oxygen and high heat for extended periods. Scientists have studied these compounds because some laboratory research suggests that high levels may contribute to inflammation and cardiovascular disease. However, there's an important detail that often gets left out in viral videos. Most oxysterols are formed during industrial food processing, repeated deep frying, or prolonged exposure to very high temperatures, not from reheating yesterday's scrambled eggs in the microwave for a minute or two. Could a tiny amount form during reheating? Possibly, but current scientific evidence doesn't show that reheating eggs once under normal household conditions creates dangerous levels that would pose a significant health risk. In other words, the dramatic claims you've seen online are not supported by strong evidence. So, what is the real concern with leftover eggs? Just like the other foods we've discussed, it's proper storage. Cooked eggs should never sit on the kitchen counter for hours. Once they've cooled slightly, refrigerate them within 2 hours of cooking. If you're preparing egg dishes ahead of time, store them in airtight containers and consume them within 3 to 4 days. When reheating, make sure they're heated evenly. The biggest downside of reheating eggs isn't safety, it's quality. Scrambled eggs often become rubbery. Omelettes lose their fluffy texture. Hard-boiled eggs may develop a stronger sulfur smell. These changes are normal and don't necessarily indicate that the food has become unsafe. Some people even prefer eating leftover hard-boiled eggs cold in salads or as a quick snack. As long as they've been stored correctly, that's perfectly acceptable. So once again, the message is simple. Proper storage matters far more than the act of reheating itself. The bigger picture, why leftovers sometimes make people sick. After looking at all 4 foods, you may have noticed a common pattern. The real danger usually isn't reheating. It's everything that happens before reheating. Food poisoning is one of the most common illnesses worldwide, and in many cases, it's completely preventable. When food is left at room temperature for too long, bacteria multiply rapidly. Some bacteria simply grow in number. Others produce toxins. Some toxins are destroyed by heat. Others are not. That's why food safety experts focus so much on proper storage. Think about it this way. Cooking is only one step in keeping food safe. Cooling, storing, handling, and reheating are equally important. If any one of those steps is done incorrectly, the risk increases. 5 common leftover mistakes. Let's quickly go over some of the most common mistakes people make. Mistake number 1, leaving food out too long. Many families finish dinner and leave the food on the table for several hours before cleaning up. Unfortunately, bacteria love warm temperatures. The longer food sits out, the greater the opportunity for bacterial growth. Try to refrigerate leftovers within 2 hours, or sooner if your kitchen is particularly warm. Mistake number 2, cooling large pots too slowly. A large pot of soup, rice, or curry stays warm for a surprisingly long time. The center can remain in the bacterial danger zone for hours. Instead, divide large portions into smaller, shallow containers. This allows them to cool much faster. Mistake number 3, reheating the same food again and again. Imagine reheating a pot of curry for lunch, then placing it back in the refrigerator, then reheating it again for dinner, then again the next day. Each cycle of warming and cooling gives bacteria another opportunity to multiply. A better approach is to reheat only the portion you're planning to eat. Leave the rest refrigerated until needed. Mistake number 4, trusting your nose alone. Many harmful bacteria don't change the smell, taste, or appearance of food. Something can look completely normal and still make you sick. That's why following storage guidelines is much more reliable than relying on smell alone. Mistake number 5, overfilling the refrigerator. Believe it or not, an overcrowded refrigerator doesn't cool efficiently. Cold air needs room to circulate. If containers are packed too tightly together, some foods may remain warmer than they should. Keep your refrigerator organized and avoid blocking air vents. Simple food safety rules everyone should follow. Fortunately, protecting yourself doesn't require complicated equipment or expensive products. Here are a few habits recommended by food safety experts. Wash your hands before handling food. Use separate cutting boards for raw meat and vegetables. Refrigerate leftovers promptly. Store food in clean, airtight containers. Label leftovers with the date if you prepare meals in advance. Keep your refrigerator at about 4 degrees Celsius 40 degrees Fahrenheit or below. Freeze foods you won't eat within a few days. Reheat leftovers until they're steaming hot all the way through. When in doubt, throw it out. Food is far less expensive than a trip to the hospital. So, should you stop reheating these foods? Let's answer the big question. Should you never reheat rice? No, you simply need to store it correctly. Should you never reheat chicken? Again, no, just refrigerate it promptly and heat it thoroughly. Should you avoid reheating spinach? Current evidence doesn't support the claim that reheating it once makes it carcinogenic. Repeated heating mainly affects nutrition and texture. What about eggs? They are generally safe to reheat once when they've been stored properly. The internet often turns simple food safety advice into frightening headlines. Fear spreads quickly. Science moves more carefully. The best approach is to rely on evidence instead of viral myths. Remember, millions of people safely eat leftovers every day without any problems because they follow basic food safety practices. Final thoughts. The next time you open your refrigerator and see yesterday's leftovers, don't panic. Instead, ask yourself a few simple questions. Was this food refrigerated on time? Has it been stored properly? Has it been sitting in the refrigerator for too many days? Am I reheating only the portion I'm going to eat? If the answer to those questions is yes, you are already following the habits that matter most. Good health isn't about fearing food. It's about understanding how to handle it safely. Small habits, like cooling food quickly, refrigerating it promptly, and reheating it properly, can make a much bigger difference than avoiding certain leftovers altogether. And perhaps the biggest lesson from today's video is this. Not every viral health claim is wrong, but not every viral health claim tells the whole story either. Taking a few minutes to understand the science behind sensational headlines can help you make smarter decisions for yourself and your family. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who loves meal prepping or saving leftovers, and subscribe for more evidence-based health and nutrition content. Thank you so much for watching, stay safe, eat smart, and I'll see you in the next video.